Students, so today we are going to discuss about line spectrum of hydrogen and the limitations of Bohr's model of an atom. So first of all, this we discussed in the previous session that spectrum of hydrogen, line spectrum of hydrogen is like this. We are getting a large number of lines here. So this thing where this line means transition of electron from second energy level to first energy level. So what this line means, this line shows the wavelength or frequency or energy of the radiation which is evolved, which is liberated when electron comes from second energy level to first energy level. And these lines, they are called spectral lines. What we say these are spectral lines. Okay, so how do we get so many spectral lines? This we have to see in this topic. Okay, so there are 5 types of series which we get in case of hydrogen spectrum. First is Lyman series, then Balmer series, then Paschen series, brackets, and Pfund series. Now Balmer series is the only series which is in visible region. Lyman series is in ultraviolet, and others are from in infrared region. Okay, now how to explain this? A line spectrum observed in case of hydrogen atom was successfully explained by Bohr's model. Okay, if we use Bohr model of an atom, then this phenomena can be explained in case of hydrogen. Now there was one assumption. Okay, what was that? That radiation is absorbed, means we can say postulate of Bohr's model. Radiation is absorbed if the electron moves from orbit of smaller principal quantum number to the orbit of higher principal quantum number. Means if electron is jumping from n equal to 1 to n equal to 3, then it means it is moving from lower principal quantum number to higher principal quantum number. So it will absorb energy, and in case the reverse happens, then it will release energy. Okay, now whichever is the case, the energy released or energy absorbed, that will be given by delta E, and it will be equal to EF minus EI. EF means final state. Just like I am saying that electron has moved from first to third, so this is NF, and it has moved from this, so it is Ni. Okay, so Ni and Nf. Similarly, EF and EI. Okay, energy associated with this will be EI, and energy associated with this will be EF. Okay, so delta E will be final energy minus initial energy. Now to relate these all things in formula form, how can we go ahead? Okay, now first of all, we did in Bohr's model that each energy level is also known as stationary state. So they have a definite amount of energy. That energy is given by this formula. Okay, this is En is equal to minus RH within bracket 1 by n square. It means if electron is in first energy level, then its energy is given by E1, and it will be equal to minus RH multiplied by 1 by n square, where RH is called a Rydberg constant. Okay, now we are putting this in the previous, we are putting this thing here. Okay, we will be doing like this. Okay, EF value and EI value we will put here. Now see, delta E is equal to, when we are putting for EF, then n value will be nf and RH will be same, so it will be minus RH over nf square minus RH over ni square. Okay, now when we put the value of RH, this is Rydberg's constant value and these are initial and final stages of the electron. So our formula will be delta E is equal to 2.18 into 10 raised to power minus 18 multiplied by 1 by ni square minus 1 by nf square, and units will be joules. Okay, now if we come here for calculating the frequency, then frequency will be, it will be calculated from the equation E is equal to h nu. Okay, this equation we are applying. So nu is equal to delta E over h. E equal to h nu from the equation E is equal to h nu. We have calculated nu is equal to E over h. Here E is delta E. So this equation will become this way. Now we have to put the value of RH and h. H is Planck's constant. So we will get this formula. Now what is the second formula? First formula was delta E is equal to this much and units were joules. Now nu is equal to this much. This is second formula. Okay, now if in terms of nu bar, or we will say wave number, we want to calculate the formula, then it will be given by this. Nu bar is equal to nu over c, and then it will be equal to RH over HC multiplied by this much and this. Now this thing will come out to be this much. Now it means nu bar is equal to this much. Okay, now see what finally we got. Nu bar is equal to this much. Okay, now here you have to remember units are meter inverse and the value here is 1.09677 into 10 raised to power 7. Okay, so when we calculate this, in case of absorption spectrum, NF is greater than Ni. Okay, if heat is means if it is absorption spectrum, we have studied earlier emission spectrum and absorption spectrum. In case of absorption spectrum, some part of the light is absorbed by certain suitable substance and then it is made to incident. If that is the case, then NF value is greater than Ni. Okay, and then we will be getting the total energy value as positive. If total energy value is positive, then it means energy is absorbed. Similarly, if it is emission spectrum, where we are directly incidenting our light obtained from certain source on the prism and then we are getting some spectrum, then Ni value is greater than Nf. Okay, here Nf value is greater than Ni and here reverse is the case. Now in this case delta E value will be negative. So negative value means energy has released. Okay, now see whatever we have done now, if we compare this with what we did in that particular spectrum of hydrogen, we found this formula over there, this formula was there, and what was there? There the values were 109,677 multiplied by 1 by Ni square minus 1 by Nf square and units were centimeter inverse. So if we change meter inverse into centimeter inverse, and this value will become 109,677. Okay, so here what we have shown, we have just shown that whatever formula we calculated now, that formula is exactly same as was calculated by Bohr. Okay, so that time whatever was the procedure to calculate, that was really exactly same. Okay, so Rydberg, whatever formula Rydberg gave, that formula is same as calculated by Bohr. Okay, now the question is why we get so many lines. in hydrogen spectrum. When we are saying then that when electron jumps from one orbit to another orbit, then there is emission of rays or radiation and one spectral line is obtained. So when hydrogen has only one atom and there is only one electron, then why we are getting so many lines? So what is the answer? When we take a sample of hydrogen, then there is presence of large number of hydrogen atoms. Okay, so because of the presence of large number of hydrogen atoms, they gain different amounts of energies and then they move to their higher energy levels, and when they come back, then they release energy which leads to large number of spectral lines. Okay, so this is the simple reason for getting a large number of spectral lines in the case of hydrogen atom. Now let us solve few examples. First question is, what are the frequency and wavelength of a photon emitted during a transition from n equal to 5 state to n equal to 2 state in the hydrogen atom? Okay, now what the question is, that we have got hydrogen atom where electron is jumping from n equal to 5 to n equal to 2. So it is coming from higher energy level to lower energy level. Okay, so it means it has to release energy. So our energy value must come negative. Okay, now initial in this case is fifth orbit and final orbit is 2. So applying this formula where delta E is equal to 2.18 into 10 raised to power minus 18 multiplied by Ni square minus Nf square. So when we put all the values, then our value will come out to be negative, and the value will be minus 4.58 into 10 raised to power minus 19 joules. Now since it is negative, so when we have to take the energy value, we will be taking only numerical value. Negative and positive means nothing for calculation. It only means whether the energy is absorbed or it is emitted. Now since it is negative, so it is emitted. This energy was given out. This is emitted, or it is emission energy. Okay, now the frequency of the photon. Second part is frequency of the photon to calculate. So nu is to be calculated. Now again we will be using the formula E is equal to h nu. Nu is equal to E over h. Here E is delta E. So by putting the values, we will be getting this answer. So our new value, this wavelength, not wavelength, frequency value will be this much. And if we have to calculate the wavelength, then C is equal to nu lambda. So lambda will be equal to 434 nanometer. Okay, so all the formula we have to keep in mind. Now for second question, calculate the energy associated with the first orbit of He positive. What is the radius of this orbit? Now see, He positive means hydrogen like atom. So there is one formula for hydrogen like atoms, how to calculate the energy of hydrogen like atoms. So the formula is En is equal to minus 2.18 into 10 raised to power minus 18 multiplied by Z square over N square. Here Z is the nuclear charge. Now nuclear charge means number of protons. So in case of helium, number of proton value is 2. So Z is equal to 2. And N value, okay, we are given first orbit. First orbit means N value is 1. So when we put all the values, then N value is 1. It means E1 is equal to this much. So energy of the electron in first orbit in case of He positive is this much. Now another formula is there for calculation of radius. So radius of that particular orbit, nth orbit we can say. So Rn is radius of nth orbit. Here n value is 1, so it is R1, or we will say radius of first orbit is equal to 0.0529 nanometer multiplied by N square over Z. Okay, so Z value is again 2, N value is 1, so answer comes out to be 0.02645 nanometer. Okay, now what are the limitations of Bohr's model? Okay, now see, Bohr model, it was very good for explanation of spectral line structure or line spectrum of hydrogen, but when it comes to multi-electron atoms means just like helium we can take. In case of helium there are 2 electrons, so how we will get the spectrum in that case, that was not explained by Bohr's model of an atom. Okay, one more thing, when we look these spectral lines in electric field or magnetic field, then what happens in electric field or in magnetic field, they get split. If a spectral line splits in a magnetic field, then it is called Zeeman effect, and if a spectral line splits in electric field, then it is called Stark effect. So these two effects were not explained by Bohr's model of an atom. Second drawback, it could not explain the ability of atoms to form molecules by chemical bonds. Now see, we know that atoms combine to form molecules, so whatever bond binds the atoms to form a molecule is called chemical bond. So this model could not explain this. Okay, now see, since there are few drawbacks of this model, so it was required that there must be some better model which can explain all the features which are shown by atoms. Now what happened, two other phenomena were developed with the passage of time. One is dual behavior of matter and second is Heisenberg uncertainty principle. So they were of help in determining or in framing another model of an atom. Okay, now this thing we are going to discuss in the next session, dual nature of matter and Heisenberg uncertainty principle. We have done till now dual nature of electromagnetic waves. Okay, now on the basis of whatever we have discussed in this session, you have to solve these numericals and exercise. Okay, here in the last question, the ground state electron energy is minus 2.18 into 10 raised to the power minus 11. It is 10 raised to the power minus 11 ergs. Okay, thank you.